Today we're talking to the greatest New York Jet of all time. Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Namath joins the show. So let's hit it and get it started. Damn, does it feel good to have a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
It's another freaking game. Y'all fought your asses off. That was awesome.
I know we're going to win. I have that attitude. I feel that way, and it's not overconfidence thing. It's football sense. Well, I feel confident I can play better than anybody that's ever played the position.
Namath, he is looking. He is going to throw long. And made it makes the catch.
No penalties. Let's get touchdown up here.
He said, I guarantee a Jet victory. The New York Jets are the world champions.
Joe, you're king of the hill. No, we're king of the hill. We got the team, brother.
Hit it! We have Garrett Wilson. Let's freaking go. We have Brees Hall. We are ready to win. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have an elite defense. You're welcome on the Jet bandwagon. Now, let's talk about the New York Jets. This is the Jake Asman Show. In 1 week from today, the New York Jets will have not one, but two new members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and Joe Klecko and Darrelle Revis. And joining us right now to talk all things New York Jets is the greatest Jet of all time, a Pro Football Hall of Famer and the MVP of Super Bowl III, Joe Willie Namath joins the show. Joe, I can't thank you enough for your time. Thanks so much for coming on.
Well, thank you, Jake. It's good to be with you, and I'm looking forward to the season as well. But Joe and Darrelle, man, looking forward to seeing that happen.
Now, I want to start with Joe Klecko in particular, Joe, because you had the opportunity to actually be the person to break the news to him that he was going to be headed to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
The anchor of the New York Stock Exchange, Joe Klecko.
Take us back to that time. You show up to his house in New Jersey, and what happened from there?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. Just went up to the door, and Joe knew nothing about it. He had no expectations of what was going on. And his eyes got big. He said, oh, and I think he figured it out right then.
Football Hall of Fame.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Oh, my God.
2023.
Being told from the history of how they've done it with a lot of guys.
So you tell Joe Klecko the news that he's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and it was long overdue. He had been waiting 30 years for that moment. I mean, how special is it for you to be the person that gets to tell him that in that situation?
Oh, it was an honor for me. I was a fan of his, and I still am a fan of the Jets. But, man, he in that sack exchange was something special, and Joe was a special player for so many years. And the team man, he was the complete player, the complete package. And I was actually stunned to find out it had been that long that he's had to wait to go into the Hall of Fame. But, hey, man, he's there.
So, Joe, let me ask you now about Darrelle Revis. Revis Island was the saying about Darrelle during his time as a now Pro Football Hall of Fame player. When you think back to some of Darrelle's seasons with the Jets, what stands out?
Well, man, I both had the honor of watching Darrelle perform with the Jets and getting to know him. He lives in Beaver Valley, Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, man. You pull for your homeboys, home guys, and watched him perform so much during his years, and was certainly thrilled for him. Of course, he's so deserving. The cat plays the corner better than 99% of the dudes that ever played. You see, it's exciting for my family having a chance to watch Darrelle over the years and seeing him going into the Hall of Fame.
Welcome to Canton, bro. Class of 2023, brother.
Speaking of exciting, the New York Jets, your team, Joe. I mean, this is the most excitement we as Jet fans have felt probably since the 2010 season going into year two with Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez after the championship game appearance in 2009. Has it been surreal for you to see how this offseason has unfolded where now Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the Jets?
Well, first of all, sometimes you have to have a short memory and sometimes it comes with nature, but I didn't realize that it was that long since the Jets had been in position here. I'm thrilled that Aaron Rodgers is with the Jets. Of course, whenever that was announced, wow. we do have a contender. After watching Robert Saleh and his staff in 2 years put that team together and the way the defenses perform, they can do it. They can get in the playoffs. And if you get in the playoffs, first of all, anything can happen on any given day. These cats are all good. They're terrific athletes. They can keep them beating themselves. The coaches tell us it's between the ears. Don't make the mistake. Keep them beating yourselves. Not playing scared, but going out there with reckless abandon and playing without making mental errors, beating yourselves. I know the Jets have a chance to win their division this year, even though it's a tough division. They all are, with New England and Miami and Buffalo are serious business. But with Aaron there, I put them at the top of that bunch. Well, Buffalo is there right now, so we got to move them out of the way.
No doubt about that. So, Joe, let me ask you specifically, you offered up the number 12 to Aaron Rodgers. You said, hey, if he wants to wear it, all good.
I heard what he said about unretiring his number, but to me, 12 is Broadway Joe, and I didn't want to even go down that path.
And he said he would never consider wearing Broadway Joe's number. Your thoughts on that? And did it mean something to you that he chose to not wear the number 12, but he's going back to his college number, the number 8 instead?
Of course it meant something. It's a wonderful sign of the way Aaron is a man of respect too. And, he just really respects the history of the game.
And I'm excited about going back to my college number.
He was kind enough to go to his college number, and I'm tickled. Honest to God, I thought that was wonderful. But at the same time, he could have kept the number because we wanted him there that badly with him. And now I understand it's going beyond this year with the help of Lady Luck and not injuries for people, that we're going to have Aaron a couple of seasons. This is the one that matters right now. But it's good to know that he's going to be with us longer.
You kind of referenced it there, Joe. Aaron Rodgers agreed to a pay cut earlier in the week. As a Jet fan, it's surreal hearing Aaron Rodgers is the Jet quarterback, and then you realize he's taking a $35 million pay cut to stay on this team for a couple of years. When you hear that, when the leader of the team does something as selfless as that, the largest pay cut in team sports history, it's been reported, what do you think that says to the rest of the locker room, to the coaching staff, the front office, about Aaron's commitment to the Jets?
Well, if they've met Aaron and they've worked with him already, they know what kind of guy he is to a degree. They know he wants to be a part of things. He is a part of things. And he's going to be a great teacher, too. And it's just a great sign, a great exhibition of his character. I mean, just the way he is. He wants to win, man, and he wants that team he's on to win. He already likes the area, the coaches, the people around there, the teammates especially, and he wants them to know that, hey, we're in this a couple of times. We want to win now. If we don't, we're going to win it next year, But to have him for 2 seasons, for him to show his appreciation of being with the Jets and his teammates and coaches, man, is just wonderful.
You look at the Aaron Rodgers storyline, Joe, and the hype and the expectations now surrounding the Jets and playing in New York. There's not many people that know what that's like, that can speak to that type of pressure and that type of spotlight. You certainly can. So what piece of advice would you like to share with Aaron Rodgers about handling with all the responsibilities of being quarterback for the Jets?
Oh, I don't need to give him any advice, man. He's been around longer than I played, for sure, and he's handled himself beautifully for over, 18 seasons? This is 19th season? He knows what he's doing, and he wouldn't have committed to that second year if he didn't already like being there the short time that he's been there and analyzing the staff and his teammates and all. So I'm just thrilled. I'm a fan, man, and I'm glad to know that we got him for 2 seasons. This is the one that counts right now, and we have a legitimate chance with that defense. And I started to talk about Robert Saleh and his staff earlier, but the way they put together this team and that defense, we've got a legitimate shot to make the playoffs, of course.
What gives you confidence in Robert Saleh and this coaching staff that they have the right people in place to coach up this roster?
Seeing is believing. I've seen the transformation in the attitude with the players. They believe. I mean, he has convinced them, that staff has worked these guys together, and that team has convinced Saleh and his staff, yeah, they're for real, man. And I think all of we Jet fans believe they're for real, and that this year we could make the playoffs. And with getting Aaron, come on, anybody. The Jets are ready.
Joe, the Jets are also on Hard Knocks. The last time they did that show back in 2010, you made an appearance on the HBO hit show up at Jets training camp in Cortland, New York. Are we going to get a Joe Namath cameo on Hard Knocks here in 2023?
Boy, you know what? I didn't even remember that till you just brought it up.
Little finger to thumb. You see that? Little finger to little finger.
Well, I haven't heard from them, and I'm pulling for them, all that. I'm going to enjoy watching it. I know that. Due to that, I'll be enjoying watching it, knowing that whatever they talked about it early on, this is like regular work, to a degree it is, but you got some guys on the team, all of them know they're on stage.
Those two are going to make each other great.
They know they're out there, and they're going to be pepped up a little bit more, maybe, especially into the 5th week of training camp. The longer it goes, sometimes the repetitiveness of it can wane the urgency that you have when you first go in, the excitement. With Hard Knocks around, I think that's going to keep everybody right up there on their toes, ready to go every day.
Now, Aaron Rodgers came out and he said, hey, that Super Bowl III trophy in the Jets facility is looking a little lonely. I'm curious, in your life, Joe, obviously you're so synonymous with the history of the Jets and the guarantee in winning that Super Bowl. Is there ever a day in your life that goes by where someone doesn't bring up something related to winning Super Bowl III?
Well, maybe I'm down here in Dolphin country right now. Maybe not relating to Super Bowl III, but relating to the Jets and football and certainly the championship.
Got to have confidence in your team. Got to have confidence in yourself. And if you don't have that confidence, you can't play football.
There may be days that do come up, you see, but in the supermarkets, wherever I go, I'm greeted with a smile for the most part. And because of our Jets having accomplished that goal of winning the championship.
We all felt we could win. We won.
How did it change your life? How different was your life from that day on to where we are now in 2023 after you were running off the field with your arms raised into the tunnel after winning in January of 1969?
Yeah, and it was a relief we did it. That was the thing. That is exactly when I went that way, my mind, honest to God, was we did it. We won the championship because that was always the goal. Whether you're a Little League baseball player, a junior high basketball player, a high school football player, win the championship. And we did it in high school, we did it in college, and we did it in pro ball, man. And one had to be enough, but that was great. We did it.
Joe, you're king of the hill.
No, we're king of the hill. We got the team, brother.
So, Joe, it's come up a lot in the last couple of months just because Aaron Rodgers is now quarterbacking the 2023 Jets. But do you realize your record for passing yards in a single season is still the Jets' current record, and you did it in a 14-game season, being the first quarterback to ever throw for 4,000 or more yards?
I didn't realize that it doesn't make a difference at all. Winning the championship is where it's at. The game has transformed. It's changed so beautifully over the years. The ball players, they train year-round, man. They have the best nutrition. Their hearts are in it, but they're bigger, better, faster. The coaches have improved over the group. We had good coaches, but these coaches have learned from the past too. Hopefully when we're growing, we're learning from history too, as well as the current events. You grow. And the teams today, it's wonderful. It's evolved. I never took a snap from shotgun. It was always under the center and turning around and going back or setting up quickly. The motion that they use is beautiful. They're keeping the defense having to think so much and change so quickly. They're real students of the game. The teams that are prepared the most have the better chance to win. Mistakes, errors. You got to keep from beating yourselves, and that's not playing scared, man. It starts in the locker room, in the meeting rooms, in the practice sessions, doing things perfectly if you can. That's going against some on the other side of the line of scrimmage trying to fool you every play too. So the game is wonderful. I love the sport, and of course America loves the sport.
Joe, I'd argue if you played today, and I know my dad would say this as well because he grew up idolizing you, if you played today with the way they protect these quarterbacks, the rules today that favor the receivers being able to make plays downfield, I'd argue Joe Namath could throw for over 5,000 yards every season if he wanted to. I mean, do you ever think what it would be like if you played in today's game?
I'd like to. I was a good passer. Today's game is just, it's wonderful. Yeah, I wish I could play. Yeah, oh, sure. I wish I could dunk the basketball even two-handed like I was able to at one time, man. But I admire the game. You see, it's evolved to where they're protecting themselves as a group, the headshots. We've learned what happens when a defensive lineman comes across the head of an offensive lineman who's just coming out of his stance. We had linemen that were getting hit in the head every play from the defensive lineman's forearm that was wrapped with hard rubber underneath. It was like a club. The legs, I thought that was a wonderful rule change because it's for every player's benefit. We're so vulnerable with the joints in our body. And the knee joints, they're designed, the good Lord made them to go this way, not that way. And so with the rule changes, every player knows it. It's for their benefit. The headshots are out. The ground still gives you a good whack. And you've seen Tagovailoa, Miami hit the back of his head last year. The guys hit the ground with their head. That's almost unavoidable. But hitting people in the head and not taking shots with their legs. I've often wondered how many yards would Jimmy Brown have gained, even Paul Orning in his day, if you weren't allowed to hit their legs. If you weren't allowed to cut him down, that guy named Cookie Gilchrist that played for the Buffalo Bills, man, he's wonderful. If they couldn't cut his legs down, he'd carry him, and we see today a ball carrier is strong. They're carrying 2 guys on their backs, 3 guys sometimes for an extra 3 or 4 yards. But the rules have changed for the better, for we sports fans to watch than ever. The guys that are playing and coaching it, they know what they're doing.
Joe, we'll get you out of here on this. You famously made the guarantee that the Jets were going to win Super Bowl III. Do you have a guarantee for the current Jets? What's their fate in 2023 with the season coming up with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback?
I can only hope. Like our Jet fans have been hoping, man. We've been hoping for a long time to do it. It's a game at a time. We've got to make the playoffs first. But I know patience runs thin. We have cranky Jet fans from time to time, and I get a little cranky. Oh, come on. But we have hope, and the hope is higher than ever right now, a better chance with Aaron on that team and with the staff we have there right now and how the defense has improved. Now, Lady Luck comes into play with injuries. Guys can get hurt, and to me, as an offensive player, the most important group right there is up front, that offensive line. You lose a few offensive guys, even one maybe, it changes the complexion of what you can do. So Lady Luck's going to play a role. If she smiles on our team and we don't have the serious injuries along the way, we definitely are a contender.
Joe, I speak for all Jet fans and really all football fans. Thank you so much for everything that you've given to the game. Thank you for everything you've given to the Jets organization. I wouldn't be a Jet fan today without my dad growing up watching you at Shea Stadium and being a huge Jet fan and passing it down to me. So an honor to once again catch up with you today on the show. And I can't wait to watch this upcoming season. And hopefully we get to see Joe Namath at the Super Bowl, watching the Jets win the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
Jake, I hope so. And I wear this ring to this day only on special occasions. It's been special visiting with you. And I think of my teammates, man, those that are still with us and those that have left us. We're all pulling for the Jets, man. Let's do it.
Thanks again to the great Joe Willie Namath for joining the Jake Asman Show right here on YouTube. Please hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, let's go Jets, baby.